Living alone has its perks. The quiet, the freedom, doing whatever you want, whenever you want. For Maya, it was her sanctuary. A cozy little house on a quiet suburban street. She loved her evenings, curled up with a good book, the only sound the gentle hum of the refrigerator. But one Tuesday night, something changed. As she read, a flicker of movement caught her eye. She glanced out the window, across the street, under the pale glow of a lone streetlight. A figure, a man, just standing there. Too far to make out any details, just a silhouette against the dark. She blinked, looked again, and he was gone. Weird, she mumbled, shaking her head. Just my eyes playing tricks on me. She dismissed it, pulling the curtains closed and returning to her book, but a tiny seed of unease had been planted. The next night, it happened again. Same time, same place. Not quite. This time, the figure wasn't across the street. He was closer. Standing at the edge of her property, right where her lawn met the sidewalk. Her heart did a little stutter step. This couldn't be a coincidence. She squinted, trying to see his face, but it was shrouded in shadow. Okay, this is getting creepy, she whispered to herself. She told herself it was probably just a neighbor walking his dog late, or someone waiting for a ride. She tried to rationalize it, to push down the growing knot of fear in her stomach. She spent the rest of the night double-checking the locks, peering through the curtains, but he was gone again. For now, the third night, she was waiting for him. She sat in the dark, her phone clutched in her hand, her eyes glued to the window. Right on schedule, he appeared. But this time, the breath caught in her throat. He was on her lawn, just a few feet from her front door, standing perfectly still. The rationalizations evaporated, replaced by pure ice-cold fear. Her hands trembled as she raised her phone, trying to take a picture, some kind of proof. She fumbled with the screen, her fingers clumsy with panic. Asterisk, snap, asterisk. She looked at the photo. It was a blurry, distorted mess. The figure was a smear of darkness, a glitch in the image. It looked like nothing. It looked like everything. She tried again, but he was gone. Vanished into the night, as if he were never there. The next morning, she called her best friend, Sarah. Her voice was shaky as she recounted the events of the past few nights. He's getting closer, Sarah. Last night, he was on my lawn. There was a pause on the other end of the line. Maya, Sarah said gently, are you sure you're not just stressed? You've been working so hard lately. Maybe you're just exhausted, and your mind is playing tricks on you. Her friends meant well, she knew, but their skepticism was like a wall. No one believed her. They thought she was being paranoid, overreacting. The feeling of isolation was suffocating. She was alone in this. Truly, terrifyingly alone. That night, she didn't just close the curtains. She barricaded the door with a chair and left every light in the house on. She tried to pretend things were normal. She made dinner, watched TV, but she couldn't relax. Every creak of the old house, every rustle of leaves outside, sent a jolt of terror through her. She felt like a trapped animal waiting. The silence in the house was a living thing, heavy and oppressive. Around 10 p.m., she couldn't take it anymore. She had to know. Her heart pounding against her ribs, she crept to the living room window and slowly, inch by inch, she parted the curtains. He was there, not on the lawn, not by the door. He was right outside her window. His face was pressed against the glass, the pain fogging with his breath. His features were still indistinct, a canvas of shadows, but she could feel his eyes on her. A scream, raw and primal, tore from her throat. She scrambled backward, falling over a coffee table, her mind a whirlwind of pure terror. She couldn't breathe, couldn't think. All she could see was that face at the window, that dark, patient observer. Her trembling fingers finally found her phone. With a gasp, she dialed 911. The operator's voice was a distant, calming drone, but Maya could barely form words. There's a man at my window. He's trying to get in. She sobbed into the phone, huddled on the floor. It felt like an eternity. But soon, she heard the wail of sirens growing closer. Blue and red lights flashed across her walls, painting the room in a chaotic, pulsating dance. The police were here. She scrambled to the door, unlocked it, and 2 officers entered, their expressions serious. They swept the property with powerful flashlights. The yard, the porch, the street. Nothing. He was gone. As always. The police were kind but professional. They took her statement, noted the lack of evidence. No footprints. No signs of forced entry. "We'll patrol the area more frequently, ma'am," one of them said, his voice full of practiced reassurance. "But if you see him again, call us immediately. Don't hesitate." They left, and the silence that descended was worse than before. The house felt violated, tainted. That night, sleep was impossible. The next day, Maya took action. She wasn't going to be a victim. She went out and bought a state-of-the-art security system. Cameras covering every angle of the exterior. Motion-activated floodlights. She spent the entire day setting it all up, a determined fury fueling her. Tonight, she would be ready. Tonight, she would have proof. As darkness fell, Maya sat in front of her monitor, a grid of black and white images showing the empty, silent perimeter of her home. The front lawn, the backyard, the side path, nothing. She watched for hours, her eyes burning from staring at the screen. 10 o'clock came and went. Then 11. Then midnight. Still nothing. A strange sense of disappointment mixed with relief washed over her. Maybe he was scared off by the cameras. Maybe it was finally over. She let out a long, shaky breath and allowed herself to relax for the first time in what felt like forever. She stood up, stretching her stiff muscles, ready to finally get some sleep in her own bed. And then she heard it, a sound that didn't come from outside. A sound that wasn't on her security monitor. A sound from inside the house. Asterisk Kriak. Asterisk, it was the unmistakable sound of a single floorboard groaning under weight. Coming from the hallway just outside her living room. Her blood ran cold. The security cameras were all pointed outwards. She had spent all day fortifying the outside, so focused on keeping him out. It never occurred to her. She slowly turned her head towards the dark hallway. The silence stretched, thick and suffocating. She stood frozen, every muscle tensed, her ears straining. And in that awful, deafening silence, she understood. He wasn't trying to get in. He was already in.